Have you ever had days when your mind feels completely overloaded? Like there are too many thoughts running at once, too many worries, too many mental tabs open at the same time, and somehow your sense of happiness slowly disappears into all that noise? Most people think they need a huge life change to feel better, but sometimes your brain only needs a tiny reset. This is one of the fastest emotional reset techniques you can try right now. It's called the Name 3 Shift. Just pause for 10 seconds and name 3 good things. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller they are, the more powerful this works. For example, I'm having a quiet moment. I made it through today. I'm watching something that makes me feel a little calmer. That's enough. The reason this works is surprisingly simple. Your brain can't fully focus on gratitude and stress at the exact same time. The moment you begin searching for something positive, even something tiny, your attention slowly moves away from pressure and toward emotional safety. It's like giving your mind a new direction. And the best part is, you don't need huge motivation, you don't need confidence, you don't even need a perfect day, you just need 10 seconds. So right now, before you keep scrolling, try it. Say 3 good things out loud, small things count too. Do you notice that tiny emotional shift? That's your brain changing modes. Sometimes happiness doesn't arrive all at once. Sometimes it begins with one small moment when you realize there are still good things around you. If you've ever felt this way, leave a comment. Me too. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone can make your heart feel a little lighter. Have you noticed that whenever you feel stressed, your body changes too? Your shoulders tighten, your back curves forward, your jaw clenches, and your eyes stay locked on a screen? The dangerous part is that your brain reads those physical signals as proof that something is wrong. Most people think emotions only come from thoughts, but in reality, your body is constantly sending signals back to your brain as well. That's why a simple posture reset can change your mood so quickly. Try it right now. Sit up a little straighter, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath. Then hold a small, gentle smile for about 10 seconds. It sounds almost too simple, but your brain genuinely responds to it. When your body opens up instead of curling inward, your brain starts feeling safer. Even a small smile, even an imperfect one, can help activate neurotransmitters connected to positive feelings like dopamine and serotonin. That's also why many actors say that after laughing during a scene, they eventually begin to feel genuinely happier. Sometimes you don't have to wait for your mood to improve before changing your body. Sometimes changing your body first helps your emotions slowly follow behind. Have you ever noticed that when you're stressed, the world around you suddenly feels smaller? You keep staring at a screen, the same thoughts loop over and over in your head, and everything starts to feel more overwhelming without you even realizing it. That's not just a feeling. When stress rises, your brain can enter a state called tunnel vision, where your focus and awareness narrow so your mind can prioritize detecting danger. The problem is, when that state lasts too long, your brain starts feeling trapped. So here's a very fast mental reset. Simply lift your eyes away from the screen and look at something far away. It could be the other side of the room, something outside your window, the sky, a tree, or any distant point. Hold your gaze there for about 10 seconds. It sounds simple, but this tiny action sends a surprisingly powerful signal to your nervous system. Everything is safe. And when the brain feels safe, the body begins to relax. Your thoughts slow down, the tension starts to ease. That's why many psychologists use techniques like this to help people break out of anxious states in the moment. Sometimes you don't need to solve your entire life all at once. Sometimes you just need to give your brain a moment to breathe. And strangely enough, the moment you look a little farther away, your mind starts to feel a little lighter too. Many people think that being happy means avoiding negative emotions. But in reality, what exhausts us even more is constantly trying to escape them. The more you avoid emotions, the longer they tend to stay in your mind. So here's a very small habit that can be surprisingly powerful. Whenever your emotions start to feel heavy, pause for a few seconds and name exactly what you're feeling. I'm stressed. I'm exhausted. I'm anxious. I'm disappointed. Just name it. It sounds simple, but the moment you identify an emotion, your brain begins to calm down. A part of the brain called the amygdala, which processes fear and stress, becomes less active when emotions are clearly recognized. It's almost like your mind hears, "It's okay, I understand what's happening now." And sometimes, that's exactly what you need most. Not forcing yourself to be positive immediately. Not pretending everything is fine. Just being honest about your feelings for a few seconds. Because the moment you stop running away from your emotions, you begin taking back control of them. Most of the exhaustion we feel comes from being trapped in the present moment, trapped in stress, negative thoughts, and everything that just happened. So whenever your emotions start to feel too heavy, try asking yourself one very simple question. What would the happiest and strongest version of me do right now? Then pause for a few seconds and listen to the answer. Maybe it will say, take a breath, don't react immediately, relax your shoulders, keep going, everything will be okay. This small question helps you step out of emotional autopilot and see things from a calmer perspective. Instead of reacting from stress, you begin responding from a better version of yourself. And sometimes, one small moment of reflection like that is enough to change the rest of your entire day. Happiness is not something you have to wait for before it appears. Sometimes, it's created through very small moments where you intentionally change the way you think, feel, and respond. In just a few seconds, you can breathe a little deeper, relax your body, understand your emotions more clearly, and pull your mind away from stress. Those small changes may not seem powerful immediately, but when you repeat them every day, your brain slowly learns how to return to a calmer state more quickly. And over time, your emotions no longer feel completely out of control. You begin to realize that sometimes one small moment of slowing down is enough to save an entire day. Perhaps the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is not trying to feel happy all the time, but learning how to return to a calm state more quickly whenever life becomes overwhelming. Because there will always be exhausting days, moments of anxiety, times when you feel lost or trapped inside your own thoughts. But now, you have small tools to help bring yourself back. Just a few seconds of deeper breathing, just a few seconds of shifting your perspective, just a few seconds of understanding your emotions instead of fighting them. And sometimes, those tiny moments create the biggest changes over time. Happiness does not always arrive as a powerful emotion. Sometimes it appears very quietly, in the moment you realize that you can still begin again, even after a bad day. Real emotional change usually doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from very small moments when you choose to pause, breathe, and treat yourself a little more gently. Each small habit you just heard may only take 10 seconds. But sometimes, those 10 seconds are enough to stop your mind from sinking deeper into anxiety, stress, or overthinking. One deeper breath, one more positive thought, one moment of looking away from the screen, one moment of being honest about your emotions. All of these small actions are teaching your brain, I'm okay, I'm safe, I can regain control of myself. And when you repeat these small moments every day, you begin to realize something very important. Happiness is not just a feeling that appears randomly. It's something you can slowly create through the small habits you choose every day. Sometimes life doesn't need to completely change for you to feel better. Sometimes just 10 seconds can make your mind feel so much lighter. There's something many people don't realize until they become completely exhausted. The mind does not need more pressure in order to change. It needs small moments to rest, to feel understood, and to return to a balanced state. That's why tiny habits can be so powerful. Just a few seconds to pause and breathe. Just a few seconds to adjust your posture. Just a few seconds to name your emotions or see things from a different perspective. These actions may seem small, but your brain is constantly responding to even the smallest signals. Every time you choose calmness instead of reacting immediately, you are teaching your mind how to feel safer. And over time, those small moments begin to change the way you live every day. You no longer get carried away by emotions so easily. You start recognizing when you're becoming stressed. You learn how to bring yourself back to a stable state more quickly. That is the real power of happiness. Not always feeling joyful, not always being positive, but knowing how to return to yourself even on the hardest days. And sometimes, it all begins with just 10 very small seconds. The truth is, most of us are trying to live faster than our emotions. We keep scrolling, keep thinking, keep pushing through, while our minds are quietly trying to say, I just need a little rest. And sometimes, the thing that changes everything is not a huge piece of advice or a more perfect life. Sometimes it's just one small moment when you pause and pay attention to yourself. One deeper breath, one moment of relaxing your shoulders, one moment of naming your emotions, one small positive thought in the middle of a chaotic day. These things may seem simple, but little by little, they pull you out of survival mode and guide you back toward a more peaceful state inside yourself. Because happiness does not always come from life changing overnight. Sometimes It comes from learning how to take better care of your mind, one small moment at a time. And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. You may not realize this, but your brain is constantly changing based on what you repeat every day. It's not the rare, dramatic moments that shape your emotional state the most. It's the small actions repeated again and again over time. If every day you spend just a few seconds breathing more deeply, calming yourself, and understanding your emotions a little better, your mind slowly begins to learn, I don't have to live in constant stress. That's how small changes begin creating big differences over time. You start noticing that you no longer react so intensely to everything. You recover more quickly after difficult days. You feel lighter, even when life still isn't perfect. And that is what truly matters. Happiness does not mean never feeling sad, tired, or anxious. Happiness means knowing how to return to balance more quickly whenever life pulls you too far away from yourself. Sometimes real strength is not about changing your entire life in one day. Sometimes it's simply about continuing to care for your mind through a few small seconds every single day. In the end, the most important thing to remember may be this: you do not have to wait for life to become perfect before allowing yourself to feel happier. So many people believe, when things get better, I'll finally feel peaceful. When the pressure disappears, I'll feel happier. When life changes, then I'll feel okay. But sometimes, real change begins in the opposite direction. It starts with one small moment, one deeper breath, one gentler thought toward yourself, one pause instead of reacting immediately. And little by little, your mind begins changing the way it sees life. Not because every problem suddenly disappears, but because you no longer allow yourself to be pulled away by every negative emotion the way you once did. That's why these small habits are so powerful. They remind you that happiness is not something far away. Sometimes it's only a few calm seconds away. So if today you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or simply in need of a little more peace, remember that you can always begin again with very small steps. And if this video helped you feel even a little better, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos about improving your mood, emotions, and mental well-being every day.